Hey folks, just wanted to give you a quick video to show you some of the directions for this severe weather lab that we're going to get into. This first page you can see there's 5 definitions, but you're not really asked to define tropical depressions or tropical storms or the southwesterly winds, what that really means in earth science class, at least New York State. But I do want to know if you understand what hurricanes are and the Saffir-Simpson scale, what that is, because you're going to use that scale later on. So find those definitions in your notes and fill that in there. Page 2 gives us some data about a pretty severe storm, which was Hurricane Katrina. And I think the best thing to do for this is to zoom in. So you can go up here to this tab, and I would usually just zoom in to about 100%. And let's just take a look at the directions. So use the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale, fill in the type and or category storm column located in the Katrina data chart. And that's going to be over here. And so how do you know what category it is? Well, from our notes, we saw that certain wind speeds are going to give us a certain type of category. So you can type in that category. It's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And so depending on the wind speed, that's going to give you a clue about what the type of category it is. So please take a look at that and then type that in for that whole column for every single data point. So this goes from August 24th all the way up to August 31st. And you notice that we're going to start color coding this stuff. So we have August 24th all the way through August 26th, and then August 27th to 28th, and then 29th to the 31st. So there's 5 data points in the red, 5 data points in the purple, and 5 data points in the green. And the reason we've done that is to help out when we're going to plot some of these data points. So what are we supposed to do? Well, that's step 2. Using the Katrina data chart, plot the storm track using the latitude and longitude coordinates. So here we have latitude for 8:24 at 1200 hours. So that's noon. So the storm was at 24.5 degrees north and 76.5 degrees west. And so where are we going to plot that? Well, that's actually on page 3. And so here you can see a map of the United States. And we can also see that we have different dots over here, different circles. And notice that they are color coordinated to the colors that we have over here on our data. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plot the first data point just to show you how to go about plotting these data points, and then I'll show you how to actually draw a line that shows the direction or the path of Hurricane Katrina. So let's go back to this. So the data point was 24.5 degrees north and 76.5 degrees west. What you may want to do, and I'm actually doing it right now, but you can't see, is I'm writing that number down. And so I can look to it because obviously it's not going to be on my screen when I'm trying to move the data point around. So I've written that down, and I'm going to do my first data point. Now that was in the red category, so I'm just going to click and drag this dot to where it's supposed to go. So what was that? That was 24.5. Well, I'm going to zoom in so I can see that I have 20 and 25 north right there. I'm going to put it somewhere in between, and it said it was at 76. So 76 is somewhere in between, what do we have, 75 and 80. So I'm between 20 and 25 there. That's good. I'm between 80 and 75. That's good as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little closer to get more accurate. Now, let me just go take a look at this. So you can see that between these big numbers, there are individual boxes, and each box goes up by 1 degree. So this is 20 degrees, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then 25. And we're supposed to go to 24.5. Well, that's 24, and there's really no line for 24.5, but obviously 24.5 is halfway between 24 and 25. So it's going to be somewhere here. But how far left or right do I need to go? Well, I can take a look up at the top, and I'm supposed to be 76.5. Well, this is 75, 76, 77, 78, 80, 79, 80. And I'm at 76.5. So it's somewhere between 75 and 76, and it's halfway in between. So I'm halfway in between this dark line and the next line next to it. It's a little fainter, but we can still see it. So I'm just going to scroll back down, and then when I get to my spot, I'll know where I'm supposed to put my dot. So it's right in here. So it's kind of in the middle of that square. So halfway up between 24 and 25, and halfway over from 75 and 76. So there's my data point. All right. And so what's going to happen is you can go back up here. We can take a look at the data points once again. All right. I'm actually going to do the second one for you. So we're going 26 and then 77.7. So I'll go back to my, so I wrote those numbers down. I'll go back here and I'll go back to 100%. It's another red dot because that data point was in our red dot right there. And so I'm going to drag this one, and that said 26. And so that's above 25. And they said 77.7. So it's somewhere in this big box. I'm just going to put that there gently, and then I'm going to zoom in and figure out where 77.6 is. So I'll go to say 200%. I'll scroll up. And I'm going to look over here. So 76, that's 77. So 77.7, somewhere between 77 and 78. So it looks a little bit more towards that. So I'm going to scroll back down, keep my cursor where it's at. And then I'm going to go somewhere in between these two lines. Now, where is my latitude? North at 26. Well, we have 25, 26. So I go across. So it's right there. So I'm going to have 26. Alrighty. So those are my first 2 points. Now, in the end, what I want you to do is you're going to draw a line, okay, connecting all the points. And now how are you going to actually draw that? Well, up here for the lines, you're going to click the little down arrow to your little drop-down menu, and you're going to do scribble. And so scribble is going to give you a chance to draw the line following the dots, kind of like to connect the dots. And so what you do is you start at the beginning dot, and you click and drag until the final dot. So let's just pretend that my path is going somewhere over here. So follow my cursor there. So let's just pretend that what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, I'm going to draw, and notice there's a little line being drawn. I know it goes to New Orleans. That was the big city that it hit. And once I let go of my cursor, I can see I've drawn a line there. So what I'd like you to do is make that nice and blue so that we can see that against everything. We can thicken that up maybe to about 4 points so we can see the path of Hurricane Katrina. And these different colors, remember, are going to represent different days that the hurricane was moving throughout the Gulf of Mexico and also back up into the United States. So that's why I have that color coordinated. So I'm actually just going to delete my drawn line, and I'm going to leave those first 2 dots done for you. And then finally, when we get to the end here, we can see that we have a couple questions. I've actually answered question number 4 for us. So if we look at that, the question was, why do hurricanes change direction at 30 degrees north? Well, usually they do that because of the ocean currents. And we haven't talked about ocean currents yet because of the fact that that's in the climate section. And it really follows the Gulf Stream's warm energy. And when we talk about that, it'll be a little bit more clear. So anyways, I answered it for you. Alrighty, well, that's the video. Good luck. If you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully this is nice and easy for you. We can follow the path of the hurricane and then think about some of the data to answer the questions. Take care.